Superheat B for Senior Road Tax, and it's the man who won at Wilton Mill on pole. Sean Butcher alongside James Lowther, then Lucas Ellingham and Stephen Napier, Pearson Buller-Carter and Stephen Letts from George Hunter and Aaron McKay, and then Thomas Wood and Leo Purchase from Oakley Pryor and Benny Chilton. Jack Bate, Gavin DeWart, Jay Pearson, James Tester, the birthday boy from yesterday, Alex Moody, and Isaac Lord filling out the grid. It's going to be interesting to see if anyone can topple Sean Butcher from his perch at the top of the tree. He certainly did a good job yesterday, but there's problems already for Stephen Napier. Stephen Napier from fourth on the grid. That cart is going nowhere. Well, that is absolutely catastrophic fortunes for Stephen Napier, who is supposed to be starting this race from fourth position. The rain coming down big time, and he's going nowhere. What a miserable start to the day for Stephen Napier. Any chance he had of being competitive for the final has definitely gone up in steam.
We unfortunately get a look at that one, Jake. Can't wonder what would have happened. We've obviously had the kart running before the formation lap. Got it all tuned nicely, I'm sure.
Well, very disappointing indeed. These things can happen, unfortunately. But as you can see, the rain showers really properly pelting down here at Larkhall. It's not quite 1998 Hamilton weather yet, but we're definitely getting towards it at the moment.
Yeah, we are, but I have to say it's exactly what the weatherman said when I left London on Friday morning, just before I popped on the train. I was watching the weather report, and this is what they said that was going to happen, and it has. Look at that picture there.
I love this kind of karting weather.
It's great. It is great.
Well, this is the kind of weather where if I were driving, I'd be competitive. I mean, I'd still be last, but at least I'd be competitive. Anyway.
It certainly levels off the playing field a little bit, doesn't it? You know,
certainly does.
We were really going to see those drivers that can handle the conditions well, and,
I'll tell you who my tip is for this one. Stephen Letts.
Yes.
Nothing counts like experience. And this man may have been out of the kart for 4 years, but in these conditions, this is where he'll definitely have a resurgence. And here we go next time. We're not going away this time by the look of it. So we're going to go round for another formation lap that's been called, as the 99 has problems off the start. So the lights did not go out. That's how you know that the race is going to go round one more time with feeling. And obviously in these conditions, there's the signal from the marshal as well.
Again.
Round again. So there's no start this time. But look at the spray now.
Wow, this is going to be an interesting race to call, Jake, because some of these pictures that we're watching on the live stream, look at that, wow. Yeah, I mean, some of these pictures on the live stream, you're almost not going to be able to see the karts. And just imagine if you're sitting there 2 feet off the ground, your bum's, 3 inches off the floor. That spray's going to be in your eyes. It's going to be all over you. It's going to be difficult to keep it clean. The road ahead of you, if you can get some clear vision ahead of you, that is going to be so key. Being in the midfield in this one is going to be tricky.
Yeah, when you're in 5th, 6th or 7th position, chasing after another car is a bit like having the shower head permanently on and spraying you in the face. You can't see anything in front of you. So it's all going to be about the start, this one, as the number 74 runs alongside Sean Butcher back into position as they come off the final turn. And what can the Australian do from the front end of the field? Let's find out as the lights go out this time. It's a much better start from the even side of the grid than the odd for once, as James Lowther hits the front. That's exactly what he wanted off the start as the field cannons its way through the first couple of corners. Is everybody going to make it through? Just about. Butcher in second place, tiptoes his way through in front of Lucas Ellingham in third. Pearson Buller-Carter in P4, having a little bit of a nerf there from Aaron McKay. Aaron McKay trying to work his way forward. He knows the circuit very well indeed, of course. So this is all going to be about the technical run through the first couple of corners of this lap, as Sean Butcher hangs it out in second, does not want to let James Lowther get too far in front. Lowther, the back end, nearly pirouetting, and there goes Butcher. No hesitation, no waiting around, takes the lead.
Yeah, he does, and I tell you what, Jake, that's going to be key, because if you can get to... Oh, it's not done yet, though. Take a look at that. We got the 99 of Ellingham just making himself up.
Oh, and who's that spat out of the queue? That is Thomas Wood. Thomas Wood is spat out and goes down to the back.
Well, already in the opening stage of this one, the excitement has kicked off. But what I was about to say was, if you're in Sean Butcher's position, you want to get as much of the racing done early, as we saw in that last one with Kai Hunter. If you can find yourself on some clean track early, that is going to be of benefit to you. Because as we're seeing here, this battle then playing out in second between Lowther and Ellingham. It's already starting. This is what we're looking at now. And, of course, this is to the benefit of Butcher, who's now making himself a little bit of a gap as he moves down the road. Really exciting stuff as we kick this one off in our second Senior Road Tax Superheat.
See you later, alligators. Sean Butcher absolutely trying to drop the field, run away and hide here, as Lowther has got pressure from Ellingham. Ellingham dives in and gets second position. That'll do Butcher the power of good, but it'll do Ellingham lots of confidence as well. Now they're going to try and get back at him. Dives back in on the inside. Watch for Aaron Mackay. He's going to try and split them off the hairpin as he comes through into third position.
This is really good. It's move and counter move in these opening few turns. And I was about to say that if you get someone, look, we've got another Carter up the inside.
Yep, that's
it's
Bullock
the
Carter.
75 of Bullock Carter making up a place. Well done, sir. Great driving from you. If you have somebody make a move up you on the inside and you find yourself drifting wide, Jake, you can't really counter it, can you? Because you've just got to be feathering that throttle, else you're just going to be off on the grass.
Stunning from Pearson Bullock Carter. Saw a gap, went for it, took the opportunity, slid through. That was beautiful driving from Pearson Bullock Carter into fourth position. Now his race can really start to kick on a pace and he can start to get after Aaron Mackay. But he's actually dropped back a few positions now. He seems to have lost ground to Ellingham, Letts and Pryor, who all seem to have picked up a position on him. I wonder if he's just made a mistake somewhere. As round the outside, Stephen Letts now attacking Ellingham. And Pearson Bullock Carter finds himself sat behind Oakley Pryor. So Pryor now trying to make his bid on the inside of Letts. Letts protects, Pryor goes for it, that'll do, but they're running wide, banging wheels, and Pryor has to hang back.
This is so exciting. We're seeing some of our oldest and most experienced drivers racing here this weekend. As another move goes up the inside, that's our man Stephen Letts. There he goes. He's taking names on this one, getting himself up front. He's had a taste of victory or a taste of the podium at the opening round. He wants to make sure he gives himself the best chance of that again this weekend.
Lowther slowing.
Another move done there.
Lowther slowing. Lowther dropping out of second position. So Mackay goes into second. And then Letts and Pryor are now dueling for third. But James Lowther is slowing. James Lowther in second position originally. Now Letts is trying to get into it past Mackay. He gets through. It's KR Sport 1-2 as James Lowther drops out.
That was fantastic driving that we just saw there from Stephen Letts, just drifting out the inside, really getting the measure of the throttle on these wet conditions and just feathering his car into a fantastic position. Great driving from him. But yeah, as you say there, Jake, we have the 74 of Lowther just dropping back.
What a shame for James Lowther. More mechanical problems ruin his race, and it could have been such an easy race for him. There he is, now tucking in front of the 38 of Benny Chilton. I don't know whether he's going to try and keep going or not, but certainly for Lowther, big problems, and that's really cost him big time. He will drop all the way to 11th position now in front of Benny Chilton and Thomas Wood, who is on the comeback charge. But these massive rooster tail sprays are really causing a headache for some and an opportunity knocking for others. Letts up to second, Pryor to third, and Ellingham and Bullock Carter still dealing with the likes of George Hunter and Aaron Mackay.
Yeah, and we see Mackay there just fending off the challenge of the 71 behind him there, Mr. Purchase. 7.9 seconds off our leader Sean Butch, who no longer features in our live stream pictures because he's starting to get a bit of daylight up the front of the pack there. 4 seconds back to his teammate Stephen Letts as Ollie Pryor then 4.8 also off the lead. Great racing, really quality what we're seeing here from these Sino Rotax drivers.
So Butcher has now managed to extend his gap over Stephen Letts to 4.1 seconds by virtue of just staying out of trouble and disappearing and banging in those fast laps. Now he can control the pace of his race from here on in. You've got 5 minutes plus the additional lap, and even if Stephen Letts does catch him up, he knows he's got a little bit of space now between himself and Stephen Letts. He's got a similar bit of equipment. He's got almost identical car. The only difference will be how he set it up compared to Stephen Letts. So as long as he feels confident, he can still protect his line, he can protect the car. It looks like we've got a retirement, and it's Gavin DeWatt. So Gavin DeWatt has not come through. So Gavin DeWatt joins Stephen Napier on the sidelines. That's a big, bold lunge on the inside from Purchase, I think, trying to get through there on Aaron Mackay. We look back, and we see it's actually James Lowther.
I think it's Lowther,
back.
the 74. There he is. He's working his way back up through the field.
Just, more problems for James Lowther. Oh dear. More mechanical issues for James Lowther, and that's his race well and truly over then. So Alex Moody battling away there with Jack Bate as James Lowther drops out of the race completely this time. I wonder if he just had something come off the engine there. I wonder if the feed pipe just came off.
That's what it looked like he was fiddling with, didn't it? And because he kind of dropped back, and then he was obviously pushing himself back up. But in those closing pictures, definitely fiddling with the feed pipe. Something going on there, trying to, keep the car running. Very difficult to do in these conditions. So commiserations for him, but full credit to him for pushing on. As we see the 71 of Purchase there. So Leo Purchase just pushing up on Aaron Mackay. But Sean Butcher doing exactly what Kai Butcher did I'm getting my mate.
We are having a worm fest here.
A worm fest.
Love
I'm saying
it.
Sean Butcher doing exactly what Kai Hunter did in our last super heat.
That's the one.
Get yourself off and away down the road and try and stay out of trouble. It's key in these conditions.
Oh, check out the race battle between these two. Jack Bate and Alex Moody. Thomas Wood now having caught them up, but Alex Moody clearly a bit fed up with what happened on his birthday yesterday. He wants something better, but Thomas Wood surges through on the inside line. Alex Moody won't be happy, so Thomas Wood fighting back with spirit.
He muscled his way through there, didn't he? I love the way he was like elbows up on the steering wheel, like he was really wrestling that car between the pair of them with the little power slide, the drift for us as we come through there. This is great to watch, really exciting. He's all over the back. The 55 then, that is of course Jack Bate.
Well, Lowther has decided to keep going, despite the fact he has now dropped to the back of the field. He's clearly got to learn for later, and there goes Wood and Moody on the inside of Jack Bate.
He really is muscling that kart through the pack, clipping the curbs as he does so, getting a bit of daylight under those tyres. Great driving from him.
Well, that's the thing with Thomas Wood spinning off on the first lap. In the dry, that would be race over.
Yeah.
In the wet, you've just got to be faster than the drivers around you, and he's obviously got a very good feeling indeed on his chassis, so he can really start to put pressure on the drivers around him. He's got good pace, he's got good speed, and he's got the red mist, so he can really start to chip away at the drivers in front. He's got to make up another 3 seconds before he catches up to Purchase, but he has got time to do that.
Yeah, he has. This battle's really intriguing. We're watching here, of course, we're down in 9th, 10th and 11th position is the battle that we're watching, playing out. Fantastic stuff on the live stream. If you're watching us on YouTube and Twitch right now, thanks to all of our fans who are doing that, of course. Myself and Jake calling the commentary for our live stream viewers, and thanks to everyone who stayed trackside as well with the umbrellas up, just watching the glimpses of the circuit they can see from where they're stood right now. Really tricky conditions for drivers, and I have to say the spectators as well, so thanks for staying with us.
So through they come. Sean Butcher still 4 seconds clear of Stephen Letts, his teammate, and then Oakley Pryor in 3rd position. Lucas Ellingham and Pearson Bullock Carter in 5th position. So still they come through, and I have to say the star for me at the moment is probably Stephen Letts, still making an amazing recovery back to the world of racing, having sat out for a good 3 to 4 seasons essentially of racecraft. Hasn't really done a full campaign since before COVID-19, the pandemic, and it's great to see Stephen Letts back up to speed. And it's just proof, isn't it, that you can take the racing driver out of the sport, but you can't take the sport out of the racing driver. He's still got plenty of speed.
He certainly has, and in that KR Sport awning, his car is parked just across from his teammate Sean Butcher. So you mentioned earlier, I wonder what they're doing in terms of kart setup. I wonder how much information they've shared as teammates on that one. I'm sure plenty, but it'll be interesting.
Yeah, it's a very good collective effort at KR Sport. They have a really good environment in that particular awning. You've got the seniors sharing with the juniors share with the minis, and all the way through there's a really good amount of communication in that particular squad, and they very much have a Three Musketeers mentality, that squad as well. It's very much all for one, one for all. They love to work together so that they can get as many karts forward up the order as possible. Then they have an attitude in the last lap, okay, if you're 1 and 2 and you're racing for position, do what you like, it's up to you after that point. But as a team, they do like to try and charge their way through to the front of the field in a collaborative effort.
Yeah.
So there is Letts in front of Pryor and Ellingham. Again, great to see Oakley Pryor back on pace. He wasn't really there yesterday, but this will be all of those laps down at Clay Pigeon that have really helped Oakley Pryor in similar conditions to this, of course, many a time at Clay Pigeon. Oh, no, the mistake from Letts! Letts drops it in 2nd and drops to 4th position.
Oh, yeah, you know, as that just a second before that played out, Jake, I was about to say, well, Pryor's doing well because he's just a second off the back of Stephen Letts, and that's what happened. Look at that, just that second difference. Letts dropped a wheel onto the grass, and Pryor, the benefactor. Well done, sir. Great racing.
That was a tiny bit of rust just falling off of the shoulder blades of Stephen Letts there as he shook off a big mistake. That was the kind of thing that you would have expected from a rookie, or possibly from somebody who has had several years out. So Stephen Letts still trying to find his feet. But what a run from Sean Butcher.
Brilliant.
The Aussie sensation has just been masterclass in this one. Pryor, Ellingham and Letts have caught him up, but then Butcher's had that little bit of calm composure. He's had the gap to manage. He doesn't have to push. He just has to bring it home. He can just collectively bring his kart through. He'll be learning while he's at the wheel. He'll be getting the readouts. He'll be looking at the data on the steering wheel and just figuring out what he needs to do to bring this home. This is a really perfect mentality from Sean Butcher, and heading into the final later as well. This has got to be giving Kai Hunter some worries.
This is great, isn't it? Then just mentioning that super final later on this afternoon, surely it's all going to be about these two young men, Sean Butcher and Kai Hunter, as we see the race finish there then. Brilliant stuff. We are teed up for a belter this afternoon, Jake.
Butcher taking the win from Oakley Pryor and Lucas Ellingham and Stephen Letts. You've got to wait 11 seconds for Pearson Bullock Carter to come through in 5th position ahead of George Hunter and Aaron Mackay. Then Leo Purchase and Thomas Wood comes home in 9th position, having spun off on lap 1. That is an amazing comeback from Thomas Wood. Ahead of Alex Moody, then Jack Bate and Isaac Lord from Benny Chilton, James Tester, Jay Pearson, and then James Lowther is the last person home with all sorts of mechanical maladies with that car. Running as high as 2nd at one stage, over half a minute back. They'll hope to get whatever was wrong with James Lowther's car sorted in time for the final. If he has a relatively decent starting position, then Lowther is in position. But Sean Butcher and KR Sport look just as strong as they were at Wilton Mill, even though the conditions have completely changed.
Yeah, it is a complete change of conditions, Jake. Really, really difficult for these youngsters out there today. I say youngsters, these are grown men, aren't they? But I mean, really difficult for these drivers out there today. But what we're seeing is the drivers with the experience, the drivers with the quality, well, they can handle this kind of wet weather racing, can't they?
Well, Stephen Letts just there, cautiously in his helmet. Oops, nobody saw that. It's fine. I only lost 2 places. Never mind. Yeah. We'll get that sorted ready in time for the final a little bit later on. But certainly the battles joined in Senior Rotax Super Heat B. Sean Butcher taking the flag from Oakley Pryor and Lucas Ellingham. Stephen Letts in 4th ahead of Pearson Bullock Carter and George Hunter. Then Aaron Mackay and Leo Purchase from Thomas Wood and Alex Moody. Jack Bate and Isaac Lord from Benny Chilton, James Tester and Jay Pearson. The last man home was James Lowther after all sorts of mechanical maladies affecting the number 74. Hopefully he'll be back to his best in the final. And Gavin DeWart was unable to finish the race.